very, very disturbing. I just kept looking and I just was lost. I couldn't find my car.
I dread the phone call where somebody calls and says, you know, your mother's gotten lost or something has happened.
That it was such a gradual process that you almost the first many years didn't realize what was happening.
You know it, but when you hear it, when you hear that doctor say Alzheimer's, I think that was the most devastating thing I could have ever heard.
We had both become aware that certain things that he once did so well, he really could not do anymore. And our dilemma was always, what is normal aging and what is Alzheimer's?
Dad did a wonderful job covering it up. He knew he had it. He knew he had something a long time ago, and he danced around the symptoms and hid it very well.
And we were trying to prove to ourselves, no, it's not Alzheimer's. It's just not. He doesn't have these symptoms. He doesn't have those symptoms. It can't be.
Sam has never admitted publicly that he's like anything other than he always was. He's in denial.
I see people who have been struggling often in secret for a long time, a good 2-3 years, with no answers. And suddenly there's a diagnosis that does change life dramatically. The meaning of it, the expectations from it change everything, and it's a shock to family.
All right, is there anything in there for me? No, you look. I was on a mission.
And that started to cause some problems in the family.
Right.
Because, Barb was on a mission. And it was like, she's crazy. Why doesn't she just leave it alone? And, well, thank God nothing terrible happened during that time.
Well, you never used to be this lazy. Well, this looks personal. Friends, why don't you open it and see what it is?
We can fool ourselves when we need to that nothing is wrong. So people often, families, spouses, will often muddle through for a while.
Happy anniversary. Is it your anniversary?
I think so. What's the date?
When were you married?
Because it is such a difficult illness to internalize, to understand. We've not yet educated the public well enough. It is very, very tempting to engage in unintentional denial.
Denial is one of the most difficult issues that arises, and arises frequently in families of Alzheimer's people. In fact, it helps to get the person through. They might not be able to face what the future is holding unless they have a little bit of denial.
You go on out. And then you can lock the door behind us.
Although we usually think of Alzheimer's disease as in terms of memory problems and the inability to concentrate or getting lost, it is in fact a disease of behaviors, and behaviors change throughout the stages of Alzheimer's disease.
And it's something about the inability to find the door key to get in and out of a house that you've lived in for 40 years that sort of triggers. It certainly triggered my attention, and it was those keys.
Papa has it. What are you doing?
Right over here, Bob.
I think it's very important to realize that every family relationship was not made in heaven. And when a disease like Alzheimer's comes into our lives, there is an amazing amount of guilt that attends the diagnosis, because we wish things were different and we think maybe we can make up for them now.
These 3 children are driving me crazy.
It's so miraculous that now look at what we're doing.
The person with Alzheimer's is not going to be a part of trying to change family dynamics.
I mean, all 3 of the kids were just insane. They were just.
What we have to do is accept our role exactly as it was before. Maybe it's even going to be a little bit more exaggerated now that a parent has Alzheimer's disease.